And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. And thanks to you, we're literally almost there. We're less than 1,900 subscribers away. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share. There's so much going on here, so much stupidity. Let's be in the know. Talk about no. Donald Trump isn't even pretending anymore that he's fully siding with Russia over Ukraine, even as new intel is showing that Putin was plotting to blow up, to blow up U.S. planes. While Europe literally treats Zelensky like a wartime ally, Trump, he's out there praising Putin, pushing Kremlin-friendly peace plans, and writing national security strategies that read more like they were drafted in Moscow than in D.C. On Political Beatdown, my co-host Ben Meiselas and I, we break down how Trump is literally openly helping Russia while undermining our NATO allies, undermining Europe and America's own security interests. Play the clip.
Donald Trump put forward his national security strategy, which says it's official policy of the United States to basically harm the European Union, to prevent the expansion of the EU or the solidarity of the EU. And it's actually to prevent the permanent expansion and the perception of expansion and existence of NATO. In the official United States strategy, national strategy document, it literally looks like it could have been drafted by Putin. And it comes at the same time that the Financial Times has reported that over the past year or so, Putin was planning of how he was going to basically move these cargo containers into United States passenger planes and cargo planes and blow them up, and to try to create mass chaos and mass casualties worse than 9/11. And Donald Trump is rewarding Russia and treating Russia as, as the ally of the US, while Donald Trump's formal position about Europe is that Europe is in the sphere of influence of Russia. That's how it's described. Europe is in the sphere of influence of Russia. Russia takes that territory. Then Trump says the United States sphere of influence is the Western Hemisphere, and that there's a renewed Monroe Doctrine, as he frames it, such that Canada is a vassal state of the United States of America, and it belongs to the U.S., as does all of Central South America, Mexico, and part of the Trump invasion plan of Venezuela, is that belongs to us. The same way Putin says Ukraine belongs to him, and the same way China says Taiwan belongs to us. That's how the U.S. policy sees it. Spheres of influence.
Sure. So Ben, you're spot on when you say, how come nobody is talking about that article where Russia was contemplating on putting bombs on U.S. flights? I mean, my friends, do you realize that you're talking about government-sanctioned murder of Americans and other individuals from other countries, and yet nobody's talking about it? But what they are doing is they're treating, as you said, Russia like they are an ally, and treating all of our allies like they are the worst adversaries, like they are Russia or China or North Korea or Iran. I mean, this is completely out of control. We've really lost, not even that we've lost our way. We're completely in the wrong. We're not even in the right state. I mean, this is seriously out of control. And yet we're talking about now assisting Russia in terms of the complete and total annihilation of Ukraine, where how great was it when Zelensky turned around and said, I cannot even consider this 29-point or 28-point proposal. First of all, it's outside of my authority, and it's actually it's inhumane, right? To turn around and to say that I'm going to give up territory, I'm going to ignore the fact that land was stolen from us, give up our mineral rights, turn around and agree that NATO will never become, Ukraine will never become part of NATO, and the other 25 or so, 24 points, each one more devastating to the people of Ukraine, especially, as he said, to the memory of those Ukrainian soldiers and civilians who have died for their right to exist.
Yeah. Think about it, the way Donald Trump floods the zone with whatever diabolical thinking he has. Overturn the results of the 2020 election, say that January 6th was not what it was. The way, and this is a skill set that he has, but it's a bad one, and you have to stand up to him. He will throw everything at it. He will be relentless about it. And every single moment, that's the thing. And then he will get a bunch of stooges who will risk their lives and their career. And Cohen more than anyone, and it's hard to get out of. Basically his own kamikazes, unless they can get out of it. And there's a price to pay when you get out of it, and they just push it. And it's a relentless fire hose. It doesn't matter. You look at Trump with the wildfires here in California, even though it's the most ridiculous thing to say that Newsom cared more about the smelt than putting out the fires, and he was focused on fish, and the reservoirs weren't full when they were full, and that Trump saved the day. Trump creates his scenario.
But meanwhile, they're holding back, Ben. They're holding back on the relief package that has been granted to California simply because California is a blue state and Gavin Newsom is trolling him.
Yeah,
You could
think about this. Governor Newsom, the governor of the most populous state in the United States of America, the state that gives the most to the federal government and takes the least relative to what it gives, a state that would be the fourth largest GDP in the world if it was a country. The governor of that state takes a trip to Washington, D.C., across the country, to meet with Donald Trump, to meet with the president of the United States. Donald Trump refuses to take the meeting. So then the governor says, okay, can I meet with the head of FEMA, whoever that is, because the last guy left, the guy before that? No. Can I meet with Kristi Noem? She makes a lot of propaganda videos. As the governor of the largest state, most populous and wealthiest, who gives the most money to fund these things, can I meet with Noem? No. Can I meet with the White House staffer or a FEMA staffer so that the governor's office can at least have a voice?
Wait,
here?
can I guess what they said?
Yeah.
No.
They said no. And then so Newsom did this great interview with Jack Cocherella, and I played this interview. It was the morning video that I did where he was overlooking the White House and he was calling Donald Trump out. But the broader point I'm making there, though, and why I was talking about Zelensky and then moved there, is Trump's mind is made up. It is Ukraine belongs to Russia. That's it. So the question is how you get there. Right. So last week it was the 28-point peace plan, right, which is really a plan of surrender. This week it is Donbass. It's okay. Let's just ignore those points. Just give Russia all of Donbass. Now, Ukraine controls 30% of Donbass, and they and European intelligence estimate that it would take Russia another 4 years and over 1 million Russian soldiers' lives to be able, on a best case scenario, to get that 30%. So for Ukraine, why would they give up land that they control? That's their bargaining chip. Because the moment Ukraine gives Russia Donbass, which Russia can't conquer by force, Cohen, what do you think Russia does next? Do they go, great? Or do you think they use Donbass to go further west and eventually into Europe?
So they had this young lady who was part of the parliament in Ukraine on television, and she said what everybody else who has half a brain is saying, that Vladimir Putin did this years ago, right? I think it was 2014, when he turned around and he took part of Russia. We're talking about the Donbass region. Well, okay, they kick back, they shut up, they pretend that they are going to be compliant with whatever agreement has been reached. But no, what they're doing is they're restocking. Remember that 1 million Russian soldiers have already died on this battlefield. All right. They have already basically depleted their male population from like the age of 18 to in the 40s. All right. That's how crazy this is. Not only are they looking to replenish, but they're also looking to replenish their stockpile of armaments. Because let me be clear, Russia doesn't have the system. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources within which to keep producing the number of missiles and rockets and ammunition and guns that they currently need in order to beat Ukraine. What's amazing is that Ukraine, it's like that movie. What was it, like 200, right? Where 200 is fighting 100,000. These Ukrainians are fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their nation, and they're not going to go down lightly. You could blow up all the houses that you want. You can go ahead and attack their infrastructure. That's okay. The Ukrainians are strong people. They are determined. They want to be independent and not be under the thumb of Vladimir Putin and Russia, plain and simple. And they will fight to the end. By the way, who am I most impressed with? Yes, I know. I'm sorry. The movie was 300. Apologies, right? Who am I most impressed with? Truth be told, Europe. Europe is now meeting with Zelensky, and unlike our president, they're treating him with the respect that he deserves. They're treating him like the president of a country that is in war, under attack from a hostile adversary. And let me tell you something. They get to him some of the necessary armaments. There's no doubt in my mind that at some point in time, Zelensky will do a full-on freaking offensive right into Red Square, right into Moscow, which is Vladimir Putin's, creme de la creme. It's his crown jewel. And right after that, they'll turn around and they'll go after St. Petersburg and all of the places that Vladimir Putin holds dear as a nationalist. The places that he holds dear, they will annihilate. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.